Hey, it is Coffee Talk. I am Coach Dan, and from the rear to the front, we have got Coach Ryan. We have got Coach Tuda. Tuda. And our awesome guest for today, someone that we have been chipping away at to try and get on the podcast for a while. Thank God that we sent the cute face to go talk to her. We now know who to send when we need new guests. Ladies and gentlemen, she's a business owner, she's a teacher, she's an all-around badass. Give it up for Jody Sheldon joining the podcast today. Hi, Jody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jody.
Good morning.
We need the. That's what we need. The button.
There are a couple buttons up there.
None are a round of applause, though.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know what the numbers correspond to. Dan, could you do me a favor? Actually, we got 6 viewers, I believe, so we should be good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Joe, let's just do a brief little intro. Tell us who you are, what you do, and then that's it. And we'll kind of dive into some questions.
Jody, I'm a teacher in South Glens Falls. I've been there for 26 years now. Ryan was a student of mine. We won't talk about that too much. I own a restaurant with my husband and my brother and his wife over in Greenfield. We own the View at Brookhaven. Got into that 2 years ago, post COVID, and that's me. That's what I do.
Do you do anything with the South Glens Falls Marathon dance?
I do. Okay. Actually, this year I have. This will be my last year with the South Glens Falls Marathon Dance, and I'll be helping out kind of in an advisory role to the advisors next year. But yeah, I've been with the Marathon Dance for 25 years, I think now. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun.
She's been doing that longer than you've been alive.
I have
Shut
been
up.
alive.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That is
Ryan.
That's an old joke. And then we
That's
also
not
want to spotlight the fact that Jody is sitting on a booster seat. Okay.
Nobody would have known.
You can't
would have
just
known.
let that go, could you?
No, I had to. It's the first guest that we've had to incorporate height other than Josh.
Thanks,
It's
Josh.
all right.
Do you need a hug today?
I'm all right. I'll be all right.
Dan, first question.
All right, first question. So when did you first start your journey with Ryan, other than him being the delinquent student that he was?
Actually, was a real great student. I don't know if you guys want to preface that.
Will you pontificate on his academic skills?
Ryan was really good at working with others. And we'll leave it at that. I don't want, in case any students are watching, I don't want to give them any ideas. So I guess 2016, I think, is when it started. I saw a picture of myself and was not happy with the picture that I saw, and decided that I needed to do something about it at that time. And so I actually started with Ryan down in South Glens Falls. The Van Wees, John and Corey, had been working with Ryan and Jack actually at the time as well, and had some amazing results, and decided in 2016, you know what, let's try this. So I lost a little bit of weight first. Shut up. So I lost a little bit of weight first, and then in September of 2016, I started working out with Ryan a couple times a week, 2 days a week. Started, nice and easy, and then it just went from there. And then in 2019, did my first Spartan race. So everything kind of kept growing and growing and growing until then, and that's where we were at the time. And then,
What did you learn during that process?
that you can do it.
Okay.
That as long as you put your mind to something, you can absolutely do it. It's not a matter of trying, I guess. You're right. It isn't trying. If you work hard at something, if you decide that you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. And I did. I made it happen. So I was very proud of myself at the time.
I think something we always try to say is like, hey, find what works for you. But at the end of the day, I think when it comes down to it, you kind of just make it work. You're not going to find little like tips and tricks. Sure, they help you along the way, but at one point I think you do have to almost, in a blunt way, kind of just like suck it up, find what you can do, and go straight for it. How did that work for you? What did you do, I guess?
I've tried a lot of things. I did the South Beach diet. And it worked great until it didn't. And then when it didn't, it was really, really bad. And that's what got me to 2016. I had come off the South Beach, and it was like it just skyrocketed the weight. I've always struggled with my weight. So what works for me is counting calories, watching that calorie, you know, that's the first thing that I did that actually, because I could eat whatever pretty much I wanted to eat as long as it was within reason, right? You're not just eating an entire pizza in a weekend. But that worked. It also, I've tried the working out at home in my basement, and I am not that person. I wish I had that just drive inside of me to do it on my own, but that's not me. It's just not. And
The environment plays a big
it's huge
role, yeah.
It's having other people around you. Having John by my side when I first started was huge, because, you know, talking to him about what worked for him, what didn't work, things like that was just, it was amazing to have that person by your side.
I think when you have that person by that side and then you become that person, how rewarding is that?
Amazing.
Yeah, right?
That was one of the things that when you moved up here, what year did you move up here? 2021?
I mean, probably Dan would know, I think, the date and what I ate that day.
What date?
So,
what was it?
So I showed up in 2019, so it had to be end of 2018, beginning of 2019.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we've been
that's
here
right.
for 6 years. So
Okay.
December will be 6 years.
Right, because we were up here, we
Yeah.
were in here in 2019.
Yep.
So when the gym moved up here, it just grew so much. And it was like all of a sudden you had your people. It was insane. It was so awesome. Our 430 crew, when I first started, I mean, they became friends. It wasn't just a matter of people that you worked out with, and having those people here. And then all of a sudden the new people would come in, and Ryan would always pair people up. You know, he never let you pick your partner. You always had to get paired up with somebody, which was actually a really great thing too, because it helped the new people.
Yeah.
It's an intimidating thing when you walk in and you don't know anybody.
Right.
But if Ryan or Josh or Dan says, nope, you guys are going to be partners together, well, there's a reason for that. And
Yeah.
it was a good feeling, I think, for other people. It gave them that feeling of being able to be a little bit more comfortable too.
Well, I think from my point of view, I try to make people like a 3-step process. First, they're super dependable on us, you know, for form and cues and motivations, and then become super independent. Like where I could say, hey, Josh, do 20 jump squats. And I know his form is good, but then you become dependable, where like I can say, hey, so-and-so's new, go ahead and hop in with them. And now they become an extension of us as coaches. So however anybody takes that process, how slow or fast, it's on them. But I do think it's super important that has to happen within a workout community, within a school community, within a work environment. I mean, I think that has to be a transitional piece.
It's funny you say that, because as a teacher, you see that in the classroom, right?
Yeah.
You do the exact same thing. Kids at first, they start by doing things for you as the teacher. You know, they'll work hard for you, and then you're trying to constantly build that and change that. That's exactly what you're doing. Yeah.
Dan, you're up.
So COVID happens.
Yeah.
I know, like, it's almost like you say that ominous word and it's just like the tone changes. How did things go? Because we went from, you know, I believe you were doing the March 2020 challenge at the time that occurred and everything shut down. And then, as weird as this sounds, it was just kind of like the world ended, the world changed. How did that affect you and your training, and how did that affect you at your teaching? Because I know that both of them probably had similar ways, but also extremely different.
So COVID for teaching was crazy, right? I mean, the kids adapted. They did a really good job with it. I'm very lucky. Our district they were so forward thinking with things, and do the best that you can, you know, and let's just get through this together. So the teaching part for me was okay. I don't feel like the kids learned obviously nearly as much. It was really tough for them, getting them to, you know, log on every day and stuff like that. So that part was a little tough. As far as the workout goes, when COVID first hit, we were totally virtual. Was that right, Ryan? Were we totally
Yeah, March
virtual?
17th we shut down, and then that next week we went via Zoom, I think.
And then we did parking lot. I mean, we were in the parking lot that whole summer.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I look back at it, it's something I'll never forget. You know, you had all the red chairs out there in the parking lot, and we're doing step ups.
To bring them out, and dumbbells out every day.
And you wouldn't let anybody help bring everything back in because people couldn't be inside. So but through that summer, everything for me was still okay. And then, you know, for me, the world, the bottom dropped out in September of 2020. my mom was diagnosed with ALS. And that's when life for me got tough, because when we came back inside for working out, I couldn't be inside because I couldn't bring germs to my mom. So it was a really, really hard time for me because I had to make choices, and my choices weren't a matter of, do I have enough time? It was a matter of, do I want to take this chance of being around all of these people and then bringing germs back home? And it was an easy choice for me. It was a no. I'm not going to do that. And then the timepiece came into play as well. So, COVID was one thing, but it was kind of everything else beyond the COVID that was so tough.
So then trickling down from there, is that where you kind of took that first, I want to say maybe hiatus from working out? Okay.
So for me, when my mom got sick, that was a big part of it. Just, not wanting to bring germs back to her, but also making sure that I spent as much time with her as I possibly could. And that's really tough, is making sure that time piece is kind of figuring everything out. And I know everybody who's got children, I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about the kid portion of it. But then I was diagnosed with melanoma stage 3 cancer in January, and it was very aggressive. So I still thank God for Ashley Lambrino, because she was on my case that entire summer when we were out in the parking lot, and just, Jody, what is that on your arm? Can you please get that checked? And I'm like, Ashley, it's fine. And she wouldn't give up. And if it wasn't for her, I would never have gone to the dermatologist. So then in January, I had about a 4-inch section of my arm, a 4x2-inch section taken out, and they had to go 3 layers deep.
Jesus Christ.
So then it was like, okay, you know what? I just stopped. I stopped everything. And that was 2021. So I said 2019, doing Spartan races. I am in the best shape of my life. And then spring of 2021, everything just stopped for me. And everything stopped. And so when I stopped coming to the gym, unfortunately, it kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah. You stop going to the gym, you stop doing it all. And
you stop caring.
I did. And I think that it just, so then the food just, and every pound that I had lost the first time all came back. And it was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And I swore, I was never going to go back there again. I was never, and it happened. It did. And you know what? That's okay. Life happened, and it kicked me in the gut a couple of times, but it is what it is.
Fast forward till now. So let's go back to when we went to have coffee. When was that?
December.
Okay. And there was a moment where you just said hey, I got to do something. We'll talk about those emotions, because I know we talk about how intimidating it is, or there's a fear of the unknown. Am I going to be able to do it? Or even the judgment of other people because you were so fit, and then you go to the other end of the spectrum.
I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
I will never forget. Ryan and I have talked about this. I'll never forget seeing Ryan at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen you since I had stopped working out, really.
Yeah.
And I saw you at Yankee Stadium. And
randomly.
I was totally random.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to, I can't believe this. And I wanted to run away because I was so embarrassed with myself at the time. I did not feel good in myself. I didn't feel good in my body. I didn't feel good, period. September of this past year, I went to the doctor. I was pre-diabetic. I had high triglycerides. I had all of these things going on, and I'm like, I got to do something. This is crazy. And I didn't want to come back to the gym because I was embarrassed. I didn't want to walk back in. I went from being very fit to very overweight. I was obese at the time. And, oh, no, you weren't. Okay, guys, it's a number. There's no getting around it. Yeah. And so when I met with you in December, I was at probably one of my lowest points mentally. I just you felt horrible. Everything that you had worked for is gone. Yeah. And my mom had just died. So mom died October 31st. And I was like, you know what? This is it. I got to take me back. I gotta take that. And for the month of November, my focus was my family, just making sure that we were all okay and being together. That was huge. And I would never trade that for anything, because it was just spectacular to have so much time together. And then I started in December, and I said, Ryan, I can't go back and go back to the groups because I'm just not there.
Right.
I couldn't even do a push-up right now if I tried.
Which you did, by the way.
Which I am. Wow. So, so we just started out, and we started out with not talking about food really, but more focusing just on,
selfishness.
Yeah.
Talk
that was a big
about
thing.
Rich's support, your husband. What did he say to you? I think that's kind of what needs to be heard.
It used to be I was at the gym 7 days a week, working out 2 times a day at times. And it was crazy because it was totally separate from my personal life, right? So you've got the gym time, and then you've got the husband time, and they did not intertwine. and then he said to me when I started back out, and I think this was in January actually, he said, "You are such a happier person when you're there, when you're doing this for yourself, and I want you to get back into that." And so that's been huge too, because he is like, yeah, make this happen, do this for yourself. And now the stupid challenge in January that made this all, oh my gosh, never wanted to do that food. I did not want to do it. I fought it tooth and nail.
She sure did.
Oh, I was not happy. I don't want to give up cheese. I don't want to give up caffeine. I don't want to give up wheat. I'm not. All right, just do it for 5 weeks, Jody. You just do it, all right? And I talked with John, and I talked with some of the other people here at the gym who had done it, and they gave me all the tips and everything. And how many weeks has it been? I'm still doing the damn food. So yeah, and now it's just become second nature.
Talk about stats then.
Oh.
And I know you don't like to glorify this, but I think it should be heard too as well.
Yeah.
So since let's call it September, how much weight are you down?
48 pounds.
Okay, so we're almost at 50.
Almost not there yet.
So we'll hit
Almost.
50 this week.
We'll hit 50 next week.
We'll hit 50
We should hit 50 next week. We won't hit 50 next week.
That's a cool accomplishment. How does that make you feel?
It feels awesome. I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of the inches. It was fun the first time you go to get into, a pair of jeans and you can't, I had totes. I've got a lot of totes, and they're labeled by size downstairs in my basement because I fluctuate over my life quite a bit. And, I couldn't even fit into a pair of the jeans that were in any of the totes when I started with you in December. So none of the jeans fit. And now I've gone, I think, 4 totes. So 4 totes.
Way to measure.
Yeah.
How many totes have you gotten down?
How many tote sizes are you down?
My husband just wants to know how many totes I've gotten rid of, but
Zero.
None.
No,
You don't get rid of the totes.
I knew it.
No.
So I want to ask you about one word that Ryan said, selfish. Like that word has a negative connotation around it, and a lot of people will say you're selfish. You whenever they want to like put it in a negative light. How do you speak about being selfish? Because being selfish with your time has given you essentially your mental health back. It's given you your physical health back. If someone were to say, you're being too selfish with your time, how do you rebut that?
I don't think there's such thing as being selfish with your time because it's your time, right? I mean, so to me, I just had to make a choice that I was going to put me first, and I think that's one of the big things that we as people do, especially people who care about others, right? When we want to help others, and we think that we have to always be doing for someone else. I've got a friend who, she's a mom, and so, my kids come first. But you got to be there for your kids, and if you're not in the best state of mind for your kids, then your kids aren't coming first, right? So I think that the idea of being selfish with time, I don't know about that, because it's your time. You have to do it. You have to put yourself first again. And I guess that's funny for me to say because I wasn't doing that for so long. But when I did it, I made a conscious choice to not do it, right? I mean, it wasn't like it just happened. I made a choice every day. No, I'm not going to the gym. I'm going to see my mom. And at that time, that was what I had to do. That was the right choice for me at the time. And now, this is the right choice for me because I'm happy. I'm back to being that person that I was. And I've got that self-confidence is coming back again, right? And I think that's important.
Was there any guilt?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay.
Which time?
I'm saying like when you decide like, hey, I'm going to put myself first, like, do you feel like it's an uneasy feeling? Because like, listen, I'm going to be here because I need it, but everybody else needs me to be X, Y, and Z.
It was, and right, it was something that you and I, when we chatted, we were talking and whatnot, and I think that's kind of one of the things that changed it. There was a huge amount of guilt because I had to give things up. I can't run a business and be in charge of the marathon dance and be, a teacher and be the team leader for my math department and being the chief of negotiations I can't do all of these things and still make everybody happy,
Sure.
right? Something has to give.
Yeah.
Balance, right? You have to have balance in life, don't you?
No such thing.
Yeah.
No such thing.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
That's
So-
like the curse word around here.
So, I decided for myself what I was going to give up. And there was a little bit of guilt. But now every time, and I said to you the other day, I'm going to golf more this year. I'm going to do it. And yesterday, it was a gorgeous day. I decided it first thing in the morning, I'm doing this.
Mhm.
That's it. And nothing was going to change that. It's funny when you guys laugh all the time and you'll say, you come to the workout on Saturday. Oh, maybe we'll see. That means no, unless
Right.
you say
Yeah.
we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things I'm learning right now is that if I say that I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Is that being impeccable to your word?
Absolutely.
Is that from what book that you
Oh,
have a
God,
chance to
no.
read?
Oh. Anyway.
Let's talk about that book real quick because I think a lot of us had a chance to read it, even though Josh might be above his reading level right now.
You can listen
So-
to it.
That was actually one of the first ones I read.
Did you?
Yeah.
Will?
Oh no.
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
I thought you were talking about
Oh.
the core agreement.
Let's-
I thought you were talking about the
That's
core
what I-
agreements
Let's,
too.
let's
Oh,
talk about
God.
Will real quick, like the
Oh,
life
so
lessons
good.
that you learned from that one.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah,
That
right.
is one of the best. I highly recommend. I listen to it. I have a half-hour ride each way in the car every day, so it's a long book.
It's 20 hours.
20
Mhm.
hours, but I was so sad when it was over. I found myself listening to it, in the morning while I was getting ready. I'm blow drying my hair and I got my earpods in so I could listen to it. It's incredible. The lessons, the things that he's overcome. It's just, and forget politics or forget what happened at the, Academy Awards or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about everything that led up to where he was in
Yeah.
life. Oh my gosh, he's amazing. The strength that man.
Doesn't it kind of like make it believe like I can do the same thing too? It's like if he can do it, why can't I?
Yeah, he didn't come from anything,
Sure.
right? It's not like he made who he was.
And it was very entertaining to listen to the voiceovers, the music, and the background stories.
Well, it's just the whole rapping.
Yeah.
I mean, and where that came from, and it's just really cool. And it fits into so many different parts of life. It's not, he talks about working out and things like that as
Yeah.
well. But it's just it's everything.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Tuda, you're up.
Just as much as you have the habit of coming into the gym, people have habits of going to sit on the couch. How do you break those and how do you continue with the better habit, I guess?
Part of it's, I think, who you surround yourself with. Your people. And that's one of the best things I think about here, right, is that you have your people that you surround yourself with. I've surrounded myself, like I said, I have John, so we talk about food all the time and whatnot. Rachel Capels, she is outside all the time. And that's one of the things, I talk about 2019, and that's who I want to get back to. That's what my drive is. And I know you shouldn't look back, should we look forward? But that summer of 2019, I started the 46, started becoming a 46er. I think we got 4 in that summer. We were kayaking or hiking, and it was just all the time, constantly. Mary and I went for walks, every day almost. It was a constant being outside, and that just became your habit. It became what you did on a regular basis, and that was huge. Now putting my gym time, it's in my calendar. So I don't make an appointment because that's what time I have set aside for that. And now it's getting everything else is a part of it too. And I just said to Rachel the other day, all right, we're going back to 2019, let's go. So I think that's important, is making sure that you're putting that time in and it becomes a priority. Lots of people have said to me that's the only way that they can make sure that they make it happen, getting it on your calendar.
That's what Chris does. He puts a meeting schedule from 10:30 to 11:30 every day, just to make sure that he does put it in there so he comes.
Because otherwise, you get, I didn't have it in. So 6 months ago, it wasn't in my calendar at the time.
Sure.
So what I do, I scheduled a dentist appointment. So now what am I going to do about that? How do I handle that? What do I want to, so do I go for a run that day instead because I won't be able to get here in time?
Right.
So, I think that's important to find other things. No, let's not be crazy. I still love my couch time and I still do that. But I'm trying to find other things, you know, that I can do as well. Getting out and hitting some golf balls yesterday was big, you know. So doing something active rather than just being
sedentary.
Yeah, you know, going for a walk with a friend. Tyler, if you're listening, that's you. We gotta get that on the calendar because it's the only way it will happen.
Dan, the cute little haircut boy over there in the corner.
Thank you.
He looks so young.
Doesn't he?
I know. That was the first thing you said. Is I was like, oh, thank you. You know,
Thank you.
I don't have a question. I have a statement. I remember walking in here in May of 2019, and the 4:30 class, like you said, it was awesome. We had the dungeon in the back. Ryan would beat our asses. I mean, it was an amazing time. And I just need to say that, looking back at that person and then looking at the person that's sitting here, you are not far off from that person, because working out with you was ball breaking for me, because I had to up my game, because if I partnered with Jody, I was not going to make it out alive if I didn't take that step. And like, for you to sit here and not worry about getting back to that, you're one step behind that person.
Yeah, but I think that's a physical thing. But look at all the
mental
shit that she's gone through. I think that version, you know, now is a lot better just because of experience, you know. But I also think like you're a person of position where you can influence. Like, who is on the couch now looking at you saying the same shit that you're saying? Like, hey, I got this to do, this to do, this to do. And the time passes regardless, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, so let's go December, January, February, March, April. We're about 5 months into the whole process and down 50 pounds. There's no fancy formula that we put you through that nobody else has gone through. You were just persistent but patient. You know, think about 5 months. That's about, I mean, is it 150 days? The math?
Yeah, about.
Right?
Good math skills.
Thank you. I cheated. Yeah, right. That's part about being a student. The time is going to pass. You just have to take the bull by the horns and make something of the time. You know, and I think that's what you did a great job with.
Well, and I think, you know, in having you constantly in my ear, giving that constant reinforcement too, I am definitely a different person than I was in 2019. Like you said, it is a different process at this point, which is a good thing. You know, it is a good thing. I just, it's hard for me when I look back and I say, look at where I was, and then, wow, where could I have been if I never stopped what I was doing? And that's a downfall that I have to be very careful I don't get myself in, because then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, then it's a negative thing. And you don't want it to be negative. This is a positive, you know. But yeah, I think one of the biggest things if you decide that you want it, you can do it. Nobody can take that away from you if this is what you want to do. But you have to make that decision. Nobody can make that decision for you, right? No matter what these guys do in terms of creating a workout, you decide how hard you want to work out when you're here, right? How much you're going to give, how hard you're going to push yourself. You decide, you know. I did bring the alcohol back. I made that decision. You know, it was the one thing after 5-6 weeks that I said, you know what, I'll do everything else on this, but I really would like to have a cocktail here and there. But I made the decision this week. I didn't have any all week long because we were up at camp for the weekend last weekend. And, you know, I had, 3 of them on Saturday, which is not something that I would typically do. But you make those decisions. And whatever you decide that you're going to push forward, that's what happens. Nobody else can do it for you, you know?
Josh, you wanted to say something. I saw you.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. The past is a place of reference, not residence. So you can always refer to the person who you were.
That was a nugget.
That's really good, bud.
Nugget, right?
Wow. The young one coming through.
But then also, like you were just saying, like it is up to the person. Like us as coaches, we are the, would you say, catalyst? We are the tool. We are providing everything for you, but you have to take that initial, maybe step or that extra push, because, we're not going home with you. We're not holding your hand. We're going to tell you everything we can, but it's all up to you at the end of the day.
Joe, talk about one thing I want to interject real quick, because I think this is important that you have to highlight. What was the one thing that you were scared of the most?
One thing?
Yeah, because I know what it is.
Oh, gosh. Failing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like to fail.
Right.
I don't like to, nobody likes to fail. I mean, that's stupid, of course. Nobody wants to fail. But like it really bothers me to no end. So that's one of the things I'm still trying to overcome is
trying.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks.
I'm here for you.
That's one of the things we talk about what's my next goal, right? So I'm almost at my weight goal. So you had a weight goal to start with because that's an easy measurable goal. Like
Sure.
you say, it has to be measurable. So I'm almost at that. So what's that next goal? And Ryan's like, well, is it a trifecta? I don't know. I don't know because, and we talked about it, and I'll say it, I will never be able to do the rings. No matter how much I work at it, that's just not going to be something that's going to be, and I don't know if that's something that I want to work that hard towards, right? The rope climb, absolutely. I know I can do the rope climb. I did that when we did our last Spartan. I worked.
How did you do that?
I got trained. I found a person who knew how to do
practiced.
it.
Okay.
I did.
Let me ask you this question. So if I took a math test and I didn't get every question
God.
right, did I pass the test?
No, but you might fail.
But I didn't get everyone right.
Right.
So if I didn't get every single answer right, did I still pass the test or get a 90?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
That's my point.
Anyway, I got it. So I think John and I are going to do a 10K. I think that's going to be
after
one of
that
our.
10K?
Well, let's get through the 10K.
Well, let's have one after that.
We'll see. It depends on how much I enjoy the 10K portion of
You'll
it.
never enjoy the activity of it. You'll enjoy how you feel and how your brain feels after.
I enjoy I enjoy coming here. I enjoy working
Sure.
out.
You enjoy how you feel after.
Yeah, you're right. I don't enjoy
See?
doing pull-ups. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Let's ask the final question before the drum roll hits. Dan, if you want to ask one real quick, I'll always ask my finishing question. But
Okay, what do you say to the person that has had that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I knew it.
Sorry. Whoa. Okay, fine. What's your favorite color?
you can go ahead.
Okay,
Use
the
that
person,
one.
the person that failed, the person that feels that they have failed. What do you say to them?
Get up and do it again. I failed.
Mhm.
I failed at a lot of things. Ryan purposely makes me fail every time I come in here.
Did you
so
fail
that-
or did you learn?
Both. I fail. Well, you fail when you're doing it at that time and it didn't work out at that time. You failed at that time,
Sure.
but then you do it again.
I think you either win or you learn.
Okay.
There's never a lose type thing. You just
Because
figure it
lose is
out.
negative.
You just figure out a way that it didn't work for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Say that again. I just need validation.
Yeah, every day.
Josh is up. You can steal mine. I'll come up with one.
No, you can take it. It's all you.
What would you say to the person on the couch sitting there watching this that doesn't know where to begin or what to do, or if there's a thought process in their head being like, I don't think I can do it. Too much time has gone by. I'm too old. I have too much of a busy schedule. I have kids. Every excuse in the book. What would you say to them?
If it's important to you, make it happen.
Mhm.
And it can be done. Even if it's small steps, even if it's little steps. Seriously, you got to find a person too. It's not just about being here. While I love being here,
Right.
it's also finding your people and surrounding yourself. That's one of the biggest things I've learned since COVID.
Whoa.
And we're gone.
Mics are out.
Microphone for check.
No.
1 2 1 2. Do they go very quickly?
Oh, wait, they're
we're
back.
Oh, we're back.
And
No,
we're
now
off.
we're
We're off. Make sure you wave to the camera too while you're. Nope. You get your face in there. We'll introduce you. Yeah, there you go. She just had like a look on her face like it hurt.
I'm just trying to see how fast I can.
Nope, they're still not on.
NASCAR pit.
Pit stop.
We good?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Good.
Producer Sally would be
Producer
saying,
Sally, yeah.
Claps all around.
I don't remember what I was saying. I can't remember what I was saying, but
Find your people.
find your people. Find your people no matter what, because that's one of the biggest lessons I learned over COVID. You can surround yourself with negative people, and if you are in a room full of negative people, all you're going to do is become negative.
Mhm.
Find your positive people. Find your people who have like goals in mind. And John is my person when it comes to food, and Rachel's my person when it comes to being outdoors, and Mary's my person when it comes to walking. And you got to find those people and surround yourself with those people.
Ryan's my person when it comes to sarcastic humor and value
Kicking my
in
butt.
overall life.
Oh, and giving me book ideas to listen to on
Well,
Matthew McConaughey's book. That was another good one. Too.
Yeah, I think the three of us can kind of go back and forth with those books. So,
Yeah.
Awesome. Dan, you want to close out the show with the big announcement? We're going to go over there, though.
Yeah.
Are we doing it?
Yeah,
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we are 83 days and a wake up from opening the brand new gym.
No.
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 You're just gonna close out the show.
It's
and
going to
say-
close out the show, Dan.
Okay. I thought that announcement. All right.
Okay, so Dan, you could just sit this one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in this morning. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We're going to go back to go live in about 25 to 30 seconds before Dan ruined the surprise. We wasted the good surprise on you.
Did you just Big Daddy me?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I love you.
Goodness.
Oh, God.
So look out for Ryan's Facebook Live notification. Please tune in for that.
YouTube.
In legitimately 30 seconds, subscribe to our YouTube page
Now.
too. I think we did tag it.
Yes,
So the
we are
QR
all
code.
tagged. The YouTube, the QR code, all of it. We get to 50 subscribers by the end of the morning. We are going live stream from this point forward on Facebook Live and YouTube Live.
And thank you, Jody Sheldon, for all your nuggets.
Thanks for having me.